All right, we are back. We had some technical difficulties, so it's going to be in a different section on our channel. It'll probably be in the live channel,
What
and
the part one will be in and this will be in the
this will
uploaded
be in the
videos.
regular uploads. We're sorry about that, but that was just a Wi-Fi issue. We're doing the best we can, but we're going to get back into it. Talking about last week's games, we were just talking about the beatdown that the Dolphins had on the Broncos. Just
Jake,
talking
you.
about how beautiful of a design that Mike McDaniel has on that
Mhm.
offense, utilizing speed, and the NFL can't figure it out yet.
Yeah, and then Jake, you were saying about how, like I was saying, how Mike McDaniel is cool and he still jewels and like I mean he has the NFL going. I mean, he can do what he wants. He can jewel on that sideline if he's doing what he's doing right now.
Yeah, you were saying that. We'll see how kindly the Buffalo Bills fan this coming weekend take to that. But besides the fact, right, Mike McDaniel, he's definitely proven his point as a great offensive coach. A little bit of a cornball, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of a cornball, but hey, you'll get that sometimes.
Exactly.
I might put him and Russell Wilson in the same category as far as that goes. But what I was really talking about is how they've committed to running the football this year with an improved offensive line. But also, not just using Tyreek Hill as a lot of window dressing, right? Have a motion. Some plays they'll snap it and a pass play get good angles, but other plays that's just the defense is looking at Tyreek so they can hand it off to two of the three fastest running backs in the league between Raheem Mostert and Devin Achane.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he was kind of the big talk of the week was Devon Achane, and obviously he was the biggest ad in fantasy I saw. Like this dude, he looked like a good running back, and obviously Raheem Mostert too. I mean, he had like a great game as well. But Denver Broncos did not look like a football team, and Miami Dolphins look like if there was a league outside of the NFL that's better, it looks like they would be in that league right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so moving on after that game, we have the Vikings and Chargers. Jake, this was your lock. Jake, you lost two locks in a row. But granted though, you do pick harder choices. So maybe you need to go to you need to move to the side of actually like moving to locks, Jake, not 50-50s.
Yeah.
But no, it was actually that was I think the game of the week. I think it was easily to say. I think that game was so fun to watch, very explosive, like everybody thought it would be. Um, Vikings had a chance there to win at the end if Hawkinson could make that catch, but doesn't make the catch. Brandon Staley, what I said, I remember saying this before the week. Brandon Staley, I think he's going to make a dumb decision and be on the hot seat. Well, I don't know if you guys saw that 4th and 1 fullback dive on
Almost
their
cost them the game.
on their side of the field. That was my play that I thought he was going to be on the hot seat, and luckily it worked out that they still won. But that right there that was the play I was calling.
It
I
was a
literally
pick,
called that.
right? But if they're on like the 1 yard line, they threw a pick to win the game, right?
Who?
Cousins.
No. Remember Hawkinson. That's what I was saying. Hawkinson missed that catch.
Mm.
Oh yeah, no, he did throw a pick in that. Hawkinson
Yeah,
missed the.
that's how they
Yeah,
won the game. They should have
yeah,
lost.
yeah. Hawkinson missed the ball, bounced off the dude, deflected up in the air, caught it. But yes, that was the play I was talking about. And then, yeah, Staley though, that was the play I was talking about last week. Like I think he's gonna make a dumb decision late in the game, and he did, and the Vikings didn't take advantage of it. Anything, Jake?
Yeah, like you said, this is my lock of the week. I think it's two teams that just. I always bring up the fact that every year in the NFL, this is statistically proven in NFL history. Generally, around 60% of playoff teams are new from the year before. Around 60%, right? So I just think the Chargers and the Vikings are both teams that last year were great, and I think maybe some people took that mindset going into this year. But to me, that's just two teams that are going to miss the playoffs. I think that just the way the Chargers are coached is a huge issue for them. And then the Vikings, evidence shows that if you start off 0-3, it's very, very, very difficult to climb back up that mountain.
Exactly. So moving on, you guys have anything else on that game?
I was just gonna say it sucks that Mike Williams went down.
Yes.
One of my favorite players
Oh,
to
yeah.
watch in the league.
Yeah, Mike Williams definitely go up and get a guy. Very exciting player. I think this is a big. I think this is a big step up though for Quentin Johnson. I think this is going to be his show. I think they might give it to Carter to start week 2 or week 3, but or this is week 4, isn't it? Goodness, this is week 4. I'm already falling behind. But I think before you know it, Quentin Johnson will take that wide receiver 2 spot, And I think you could see him with some fireworks as that wide receiver too. I think he'll have some big games. Moving on, we have we don't have to talk long about this game, obviously. This game's all over the media as well. The New England Patriots versus the Jets, kind of the game we all thought it would be. Field goals. I remember you said, was that you? You said it's going to come down to field goals.
Yeah, if the Patriots can make a field goal, they'll win, is what I said.
Yep, and it turned out to be that. I mean, yes, there was one touchdown, I think, in that game. Maybe two.
That's just how those teams always are. Last year it was like, what, 3-0 or something?
Yeah.
Crazy.
It was just definitely a very boring game. Jets fans do not like Zach Wilson. They do not. I'm sure everybody saw it on Red Zone, if you watch Red Zone, or even after that on social media. Dude was ticked. He was losing his teeth watching the game. He was ticked. He was barking like a dog, and he was losing them teeth. But hey, Jets fans, I don't blame you. It's been a rough year, losing A-Rod, and then losing your teeth as well. So.
Well, I also think Jets fans aren't too happy with the Patriots quarterback either. Some
Punching
videos
people.
have surfaced of Mac Jones doing a little dong shot to Sauce Gardner. Really trying to mess up the reproductive system there. So
was it like a little punch or like a little?
It might have been a tap. It might have been a cup. We might have had a cupping situation going on.
Wow.
I'm not really sure. Yeah, not really sure what was going on, but I do know Sauce talked about it after, and there's some pretty clear evidence of it during the game. So I think that if usually the person you see when you look in the mirror is the person that you are, and I think there's been more than 2 or 3 instances where Mac Jones done some quote unquote dirty plays. So,
Yeah, he's tripped some people in the
Mac Jones
past.
is just that player.
This one's the furthest though, right? I would hope. Or has he done this before?
Most
He's done this
excessive.
before.
He's done this before.
Yeah.
So he's a cupper. So
He's the Grayson Allen of the NFL, they're calling him.
But remember last year he grabbed somebody's leg and twisted it. Remember that?
I do remember
Brian
that.
Burns
And
on
then
the
he caught it with
Panthers.
and then fighting with the cleats up. That was a big issue last
Okay.
year too.
Yeah. So
The
maybe.
the old sliding into the second baseman on a double play.
Okay. So yeah, maybe we
yeah.
can start. Maybe you see NFL players start to wear cups in football.
Well,
Or maybe we see him get the Myles Garrett
Maybe
treatment.
that should happen too.
Oh, so maybe he gets the what is that whack-a-ball? The thing like at the arcades.
Whack-a-mole.
Yeah, that thing, right? And they start hitting him on the head with like Myles Garrett. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's enough talking about cupping and all that. Little off topic there, but yeah, Mac Jones. Maybe just stick to football. Just maybe stick to football. New England got it done. Let's get back on track. We all chose the Patriots, which obviously Zach Wilson's been struggling, rightfully so. So Pat's got it done. Moving on, the Buffalo Bills. They went in there and that Commanders team. They learned that there's a higher standard than the teams we've been playing, and the Buffalo Bills showed them that.
Yeah, that's what I expected. I think the Bills' defense is what has stuck out to me. They've shut down the run and the pass really this year. Just they were kind of down last year, the Bills' defense, because they had some injuries, but they have people healthy and they look as good as new.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what they do to the Dolphins this week, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, I liked what I saw from the Bills.
Yeah, and on the other side of the spectrum, the Commanders, Sam Howell. Wow, I already admitted I was wrong about him last week. At the beginning of the year, I said I think he's actually going to be competent. Last week, I admitted that he's not going to be competent. This week, I'm also going to admit I don't think he's competent. 4 interceptions isn't very good. 41.5 passer rating. That doesn't pay the bills. No pun intended. But yeah, I think that Sam Howell. Ouch.
Yeah. For some reason, I just knew going in he was not a guy. There's something about him I just don't like about him. Not even nothing against the guy, and personally, it's just there's something about him. I just feel like he wasn't an NFL quarterback. And yes, he's still young. Can he change? Yes. Can he go to a different team, be an impact? Yes. So still a young player, but as of right now, just not a great fit. I don't think for the Commanders. Anything, Jaden? And then moving on, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, which this was probably the biggest upset of the week. Obviously, some may say the Cowboys. Obviously, that was probably actually the biggest upset of the week. But the Jags was probably the second biggest upset of the week. And the Houston Texans, I'll tell you what, C.J. Stroud, he might be the best quarterback in this draft class. Quarterback. Anthony Richardson, I think, has a chance to be, but he's a little bit different of a quarterback. I think C.J. Stroud is a quarterback. He is like an old style pockets.
I think Anthony Richardson could be the guy that has like the Cam Newton prime
Yeah,
years.
exactly.
But C.J. Stroud's that guy so far that looks like he could have a 15-year career in the NFL.
Quarterback. He looks like an actual like pocket. Yes, he can run a little bit, but he looks like the Joe Burrow, the guy, and I think C.J. Stroud's something special for Houston, and then I mean, the thing I want to talk about mainly is the fullback touchdown. That's awesome. The kick return touchdown.
Yeah.
I think it's the first time ever like a over 250 pounders returned a kick, and he did it in style too.
Yeah, the Jags kind of beat themselves, I thought. They made a lot of mistakes, fumbling the ball, just giving the ball away. Like you said, they let up a return touchdown.
And they were like, that return touchdown was huge. Their momentum was shifting because the Jags just scored, and then that happened. So
yeah, C.J. Stroud, man. I mean, he's got a backup offensive line pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible offensive line. He has no run game. I mean, Tank Dell's looked pretty good. Nico Collins looked good. But, I mean, his weapons aren't really anything crazy.
Yeah.
And he's looked really, really good. I'd say he's definitely ahead of schedule for what people thought C.J. Stroud would be at this point.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree, Jaden. Really impressive win here by the Texans. You just don't usually see like teams that are thought of as like really bad teams putting up 40 points or 37 points. Like, you never see that, right? Like, last year the Colts were terrible. They'd never think about sniffing 40 points, you know? So, really, what that tells me is I think the Texans are a lot better than many think. And much to the surprise and much to the disappointment of the Arizona Cardinals, who owned their pick in this year's draft.
Yes. And moving on, you have anything else in that game? So moving on, we had the Baltimore Ravens and the Indianapolis Colts. Let's go. I had the Colts. You guys had the Ravens. Colts are running the AFC South, boys. And I said at the beginning of the year, and that prediction's looking good. Obviously, it is really early in the season, but Jacksonville doesn't look like a team. Texans look like they have a good quarterback, but their team's terrible. Tennessee Titans don't look very good either. I'm telling you. AFC South runs through Indy, and Gardner Minshew looked really, really good. He looked like he just did his job, went out there, played safe. Zach Moss, it doesn't look good for Jonathan Taylor. Let's just say that. He still wants out, I saw today. But Zach Moss, I think as a Colts fan, you got to be okay with if we trade Jonathan Taylor and get something good for him as well to build on this roster. But do I want JT back? Yes, but I don't think it's hurting us as bad. I mean, obviously, we just beat the Baltimore Ravens, undefeated team, very good coach, very good OC, very good offense, good defense. Matt Gay's a guy. Colts are winning the AFC South.
Yeah, the Ravens still have not. I kind of predicted that at the beginning of the year that with the new offensive coordinator, obviously I didn't expect them to have this many injuries, but I figured they'd kind of be slow. But I couldn't have even told you they'd be this slow. I mean, they have too many explosive players on the offensive side of the ball to be playing the way that they are. So I'm disappointed in them.
So this Colts team is a very similar team that was expected to do really good things last year at Ryan. The same team, or relatively the same team, that racked off so many wins in a row to almost make the playoffs until they lost to Jacksonville 2 years ago. I think that's a talented Colts team, but I think the strong point of the Colts team is the defense. They're back to their ways of forcing turnovers, but we're seeing a strong point that we've never really seen before. It's not our linebackers, which are good. It's not our D-backs, which are young but proving something. Our D-line, we're tied for second in the league in sacks, and we're getting so much pressure up the middle between Grover Stewart and DeForest Buckner. But Sansom Abukum and Kwity Paye have been great on the outside too. And just a little forefront, just from watching the Rams game this last Monday, the line's terrible, absolutely terrible. One of the worst lines I've maybe ever seen currently. So maybe look for the Colts to have a lot of sacks this on their weekend.
Yeah, that left tackle on the Rams was making Trey Hendrickson. It was either Sam Hubbard or Trey Hendrickson look like a Hall of
Trey
Famer out
Hendrickson.
there.
Trey Henderson, yeah.
That was embarrassing.
The Rams offensive tackle literally got hurt like in the third, fourth quarter. Trey Henderson comes out, literally gets like 3 sacks in a row. Yeah.
And he's not that good of a player.
Yeah, and he's a good player, but he ain't that good. But yes, Indianapolis Colts, I think they look like a pretty good team. Shane Steichen is just so smart. He's just so smart. We don't have the best talent compared to these other teams, but he is a very elite coach, and I think that's what's showing right now. I really do. And so moving on, I could probably talk about the Colts all day, but we'll talk about them later in that Rams game. But Seahawks versus the... Who was it? I already forgot. We all took the Seahawks. Panthers. We all took the Seahawks. Hey, Bryce Young better watch out. Red Rifle's back. Say what you want. Red Rifle was dealing. He was throwing some good balls out there. Miles Sanders looked good. Offensively, they looked pretty good. Their defense looked like crap. Seattle looked pretty good. Looked like normal. That's all I really got.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say.
Anything, Jake?
Yeah, I really don't either. Not too. It was an exciting game, but not too. It wasn't as close to the score of the games.
Exactly. And then moving on, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. Jaden, that was our lock, me and you. Obviously, and rightfully so, that looked like a very good pick. It was, besides the Dolphins game, that was a blowout. This game was probably the second biggest blowout. And, it looked like a good pick. Obviously, you saw, if you just watch normal news, I mean, it was Taylor Swift was everywhere because she was at the game.
Wait, Taylor Swift was at that game?
So Taylor Swift was at the game. She sat with
heard about this yet.
Why was she there?
I think she's friends with Mama Kelsey.
Jackson? Oh.
Jackson Mahomes. She's friends with him. Yep, that's what it is. So.
Gotcha. Well, she better watch her back when she's at a bar.
Yes, stuff does happen. There is videos of that. This is actually true. This is factual.
That is factual. That kind of stuff doesn't just happen. Jackson Mahomes is a weirdo.
Yeah,
Stuff happens.
Exactly. And yep. So moving on. Yes, Taylor Swift was at the game because of Travis Kelce. Obviously, you've seen it everywhere. Travis Kelce, he had a nice little. I don't know if you guys saw his little pregame outfit. I couldn't pull it off, and I don't think any of us.
The blue and white jumpsuit.
Yeah, it looked like I don't know if you guys ever.
You know what that jumpsuit's called?
What?
The 1989. You know what's relevant about 1989?
Nope.
Taylor Swift album.
One of Taylor Swift's highest-grossing albums.
How ironic. That's
a
funny.
True story.
That's funny.
That's true. That's a true story.
I was gonna say it more look like if you guys ever seen Dumb and Dumber, he looks like Harry. He looks like Harry with the light blue. You guys gotta look that up if you don't know what I'm talking about. Look it up. He looks like Harry from.
A lot of things that we can't. So.
Exactly. So.
There's that.
Harry from Dumb and Dumber, that's what I came up with. But yes, Kansas City looked like a really good team, obviously playing the terrible Bears team, who could be the worst team in football. I don't know if there's any much we need to say. Do you guys have anything? I don't have anything on that. Just obviously the news about Taylor's, that's the highlight of that football game. Moving on, and then the biggest upset of the week, like we talked about earlier, was the Dallas versus the Cardinals. I'm going to let Jaden take this one away since he's the Cowboys fan, but hey, don't hate on Dobbs, Micah Parsons. Don't hate on him.
I don't even know what to say. Just there's no excuses when you lose to a team like the Arizona Cardinals, when you're a team like the Cowboys. I know we had a rough week. We lost Trevon Diggs for the season, but that doesn't move the needle enough to lose to the Arizona Cardinals, a team that we're probably better at every position on the field.
Besides quarterback, I guess.
I don't know about that, but yeah, Dak definitely made some mistakes. We just didn't look good as a whole. Defensively, Warren is locked in as usual. Offensively, we couldn't move the ball really. Not good.
Well, I feel like you guys can move the ball. It's just that
couldn't finish.
You couldn't finish. That's the word right there. That's the word I was going with. Anything, Jake?
Well, two things. First off, I'm worried about Dak. Man, he's already went into that. He said he's not going to throw more than 10 interceptions this year. He's already dabbled into that. He's already thrown one. So he's not at a very good pace. Hopefully he can keep it around that 10 number like he promised. but all kidding aside, seriously, I think there's a recipe to beating the Cowboys. No matter how good they are, no matter how physical them. Arizona rushed for 222 yards. And I think that any team, whether it be the Eagles, any team that out-physicals the Cowboys, that's how they beat them. You got to run at Micah Parsons. That's how you beat your great players. You got to run at him. So I think that the big key to beating the Cowboys is out-physically them.
Yeah, and then because like you know what I mean, Arizona Cardinals' offense line isn't that good. Like they don't have great names. Did they play well? Maybe, yeah, but the names aren't that good. They haven't been good in the past, and they showed that they just ran the ball. And this is James Conner. This ain't Derrick Henry. This ain't Jonathan Taylor. This ain't good like Saquon Barkley. Like, this is James Conner. Dude runs probably a 4.7, 40, 4.8, and downhill guy, but he was feasting. I mean, he was running past defenders. Like, yeah, Cowboys, they need to figure out something. Trevon Diggs shouldn't have made that big of a difference. He's not a run stopper. He's a corner. So there's no reason why that should have happened. And they need to figure out something for next week. But moving on, we all picked the Raiders. They lost to the Steelers, which T.J. Watt played pretty good football that game. I think he had Jimmy G scared to death, but Jimmy G looked pretty good. Devontae Adams looked amazing. Josh Jacobs still terrible, and that's all I got.
Yeah, that game. What was the decision making at the end there?
Josh McDaniels had the over in that game, and that's why he kicked the field goal. NFL did an investigation on it. He had the over because, you could go try to score there and leave more time on the clock. You had 3 timeouts, but no, let's kick a field goal. So he definitely had the over. So hopefully he won his bet. That's all I got.
Yeah, no clue what his plan was. As far as the Raiders' offense goes, Jimmy G can't throw 3 picks. That's not the Jimmy G that we know, the game manager that can't make mistakes. So Jimmy G can't throw 3 picks. But something that's promising is as soon as they went to the shotgun, interestingly enough, they actually started playing a lot better. They started running the ball a lot better. So hopefully they can maybe go to the shotgun a little bit more rather than doing that stupid 12 personnel with the fullback on the field. And because you don't run 12, the only way, like if you run 12 personnel, it's either play action or it's a run, right? It's not like it's going to be like drop back and throw it. It's not a very good disguise. So I think the Raiders offense, I genuinely think that it can improve, but man, there has some work to do.
Right there with you. And then we all chose Philly, which Philly handled their business. Wasn't even a game until, Bucks scored a touchdown late and then kind of made it one possession. But then Philly just said, we're going to hold the ball literally 10 minutes of the fourth quarter and do one drive. And you want to talk about an impressive drive. That's impressive. These are NFL guys you're doing that on. That offensive line is elite. DeAndre Swift, once again, is the guy. Finally, he's doing something for me in fantasy this past week 2 and week 3. Definitely the guy. Back-to-back over 100 yards rushing. This Eagles team is still really, really good. And I think they're starting to find their ground offensively. Without
you saw A.J. Brown. He's kind of had a quiet season. He got back to his old ways. I think he had over 100 yards and a lot of catches. So he's back.
Anything, Jake?
Nope.
All right. And then moving on, actually the last game, and then we'll go over our players. It was the Rams and Bengals. Jake and I took the Rams, and then Jake took the Bengals. For my pick, the Rams. When that offensive lineman got hurt is when the game changed. Obviously, it was a close game. Halftime was 6-6, I think. Very boring game. And then I can tell you right now, Bengals won. Joe Burrow is still not healthy. He's still not healthy. He looked better, but he is throwing still. He had one play where it was a 40-something yard pass to Jamar Chase, but the catch was like 20 yards, and he ran for another 20. He is not airing the ball out. That is not Joe Burrow. This team has a lot of deep threat guys. T. Higgins, go up and get it. Jamar Chase, obviously. It is just very not Joe Burrow-like. He's still not healthy.
Yeah, it was kind of an ugly game from an offensive perspective. Stafford obviously was just getting killed back there in the backfield. wasn't pretty for him. Burrow just did not look like himself, like you said. Couldn't step into his throws, it looked like. But the Bengals defense won him that game, just dominating the Rams up front.
Anything, Jake?
Yeah, I just think that my thing is with the Bengals is like, what is their plan, right? Joe Burrow doesn't look healthy, like you guys said. He's throwing from his front foot on everything. He literally can't use his calf. So if this Joe Burrow's not beating really good teams, Joe Burrow healthy's beating great teams. He's great, but this Joe Burrow's not beating good teams. But also, like, they don't want to lose a bunch of games. Obviously, they didn't want to go to 0-3. Many teams can't afford to do that. So I don't know if they need to sit him maybe for a week, let him get right. I don't know what their plan is. But they need to figure something out, and that something needs to involve getting Joe Burrow healthy.
Yeah, and then so they play Tennessee next week, which is a very scary, for as like Tennessee has. They're not even like that good of names. They have Jeffrey Simmons, but like they've always had good pass rush for some reason. Mike Vrabel does it, and so now looking at it, I guarantee it. Looking at it as a Bengals perspective, and it's like in their front office or their GM or owner, whatever you want to call it. I guarantee it. They wish they put Joe Burrow on the PUP list or IR for 4 weeks. Because look, I can tell you right now, I guarantee it. They didn't plan on going 0-2. And then, okay, you squeaked by the Rams, but your defense played really well. So I think you could have won with Browning or whoever their backup quarterback. I really do. And then you got Tennessee next week. He could get hurt. So like I feel like okay, so you're looking at possibly starting 1-3, and you played Joe Burrow, but he's going to be hurt for the rest of the year, playing on that injured calf. Where you could have sat on maybe that 4 weeks, another 4 weeks of being healthy. Or getting healthy, and who knows, he could have been right back from himself starting week 5. Where last year I believe they were 1-3 to start the season, and they end up going to the AFC Championship, I think. So I just think, guarantee it. I bet you Cincinnati wish they put him on the IR or the PUP list for 4 weeks. That's what I think. Anything? Okay, then we're gonna go over our players, and then we'll get into our predictions real quick. So Jake, you took Captain Kirk, Josh Jacobs, and Justin Jefferson. Very solid week. I mean, I gave you 2 green checks. I think Kirk Cousins obviously was the really, really good second best quarterback in fantasy. Justin Jefferson obviously had a really good week as well. Josh Jacobs, he didn't really have that good of a week. Still, he had a better week than he did in the past. But I give you 2 out of 3. And then
I agree with you. So Kirk and Justin Jefferson, they're just in that shootout, so that helps me a ton.
Yeah, exactly. And then Jaden, I actually gave you 3 checks. I gave you Herbert. You had Herbert as your quarterback. Obviously, he was the best fantasy quarterback of the week. Tony Pollard had over 100-something yards rushing. I don't think he had any catches, but very good week for him as well. And then Mike Williams obviously had a really explosive week. So I gave you 3 checks for the week, and Mike Williams obviously got hurt, but very good week still. Anything? Okay, and then I had, for myself, I gave myself 3 checks. I had Patrick Mahomes, who had 3 touchdowns in 3 quarters. I had CMC, which he had a touchdown, like over 100 yards rushing, 100 yards from scrimmage. And then Travis Kelce, obviously, he got Taylor Swift. That's my green check. I'm kidding. No, he had a touchdown, like 80 yards, 70 yards. So pretty good week for us, actually. We had, out of all of our 9 players, we had 8 out of 9. So very good week in that department. And then now, are you guys ready to get into some predictions?
Yes.
Let's do it.
All right, and then it's kind of the same thing as usual. Week 4, we're going to kind of send through it, make it quick. We got some words, go ahead and say it. Tomorrow we got Detroit at Green Bay. Jake, who you got?
I'm going to go Detroit.
Okay.
Detroit Lions.
The Packers just had a big win at home, right? They lost to the Lions last year at home to knock them out of the playoffs. I think they definitely remember that, and they're going to try to make a statement to go out there and win this game. I'm going with the Packers because I think it's a close matchup, but my slight lean is the Packers.
And I'm going with the Lions as well. I think the Lions just a better football team. I think Green Bay was going to lose last week, and I think the Lions are. That's the right word. I think the Lions they're a better offense, and they let up 17 points in the first half to the Saints. So I think this could be. I think it could be a high-scoring game though. So I got the Lions. And then Jake, we got Atlanta versus Jacksonville.
This is a tough one for me. I think man, I think it's going to be an ugly game. It's probably going to be beautiful gray skies there in London town at 9:30 a.m.
Oh yeah, this is in London, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just stalling to try to figure out who I'm going to pick. Cause I don't know much about these teams, but I'm gonna pull a Jaden. I'm gonna go with the Falcons.
Falcons, okay. Jaden, who you got?
I'm actually switching it up, and I've not liked what I've seen from Desmond Ritter. The Falcons are such a run-heavy team. They go as the run game goes, and Jacksonville's run defense, if anything's good on their team, it is that run defense. They can shut down the run pretty well, and I think that's going to give the Falcons some problems. And I think the Jaguars are just a better offense, talent-wise. So I'm going with the Jaguars in a neutral environment.
Yep, and I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. I feel like they play in London every year just because their fan base doesn't really like them. So Jacksonville's like, yeah, we'll go play in London. They like us better. So give me Jacksonville. It's basically a home game for them over there because I think they're there every year because Jacksonville, like for some reason, hates their own team. I don't know if you guys saw their fans in this past week. There was like no one there, and so rightfully so because they lost. But yeah, so I think that their home game is in London, so it is literally a home game for them. So give me Jacksonville. Miami at Buffalo. Whoo! We'll do locks at the end, locks of the week, and our players at the end as well.
Yeah, this is one of those things where if you do like daily fantasy or something, you want to put as many players in your lineup from this game as you can because, man, it looks real nice on paper, I'll say that. But I think I got the Bills here. That's my lean. I don't know. I think the Bills might be able to slow up Miami just enough to get that edge.
Okay. Jake, who you got?
I agree, I have the Bills.
All right. So you guys are putting the pressure on me. I think the Buffalo Bills get it done as well.
That's crazy. After a 70-point week, we're all three picking against the Dolphins.
Yep, but granted, this Buffalo team's different. Sean McDermott.
Well, I mean, it could have been us three, and then we could have raffled off 8 chances for some of our listeners. Of 11 of us, we could have went out and at least put up 35 on that Denver defense. So.
Yeah, exactly. And right now we have an alarm going off because we picked the wrong team. So I don't know what that alarm is actually. Hopefully it's not a fire. But anyway, we have. So yeah, after that game there is. I'm losing my. Okay, Denver at Chicago. Denver at Chicago. Who you got, Jake?
Denver. Easily Denver.
I'm not saying anything easy about a team that just got 70 dropped on them. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Broncos too. I think this is a game that I hope doesn't come on the red zone. I don't want to see any of these teams, but I think Denver has the better coaching, better quarterback at this point, so I'll take them.
And then I'm going with Denver as well, and this will be a 2-score game by Denver. I think Denver bounces back. I think Commanders are terrible. I really do. I don't know how they got 2 wins. Or Commanders. I think Chicago's terrible. I just think they're flat out terrible. Chicago's terrible. So give me Denver. And then moving on, we have the Baltimore Ravens at Cleveland. Who you got, Jake?
Give me the Ravens.
Okay.
I have Cleveland here. This is a toss-up for me. I don't really love either of these teams, but I'll just go with the home team, the Browns.
And then you know who I'm going with. I'm a Brown believer. Give me the Browns. Moving on, we have Cincinnati at Tennessee, the game we were talking about earlier. Who you got?
I'm taking the Bengals.
With the Bengals. I just think the Titans, unfortunately, I just think they're not very good.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with the Bengals.
Jade, you said Bengals as well?
Yep.
And then I think the Titans win this. I don't know. So
This will be an ugly game, I think.
yeah, I think Tennessee will actually win this game. I really do. So. If you're listening to me, I think Tennessee's going to win this game, but I'm choosing the Bengals because I want it to happen. I want the Bengals to win because Colts division. And so, but I'm going.
sorry to cut you off, Carson. To me, this is a really good game to activate Joe Burrow and have him active, but have him not start. I think this is a good game for that.
Actually, scratch that. I'm going with the Tennessee Titans. I'll write it down because I really do think they're going to win. So that's the point of this, not who I'm rooting for. I think the Titans win this game. Mike Vrabel's he's a different breed. He's a good coach, and
he plays up to his competition a lot.
Yeah.
They beat a lot of good teams over the years that they shouldn't have beat.
So if they're playing up to the competition, it might not be a good thing right now. So, but no, I got the Titans. I think the Titans can actually win this game at home too. That's a big thing at Tennessee. So Rams at Indy. Who you got, Jake?
I think that this is the hot take alert. I think that the Rams are one of the 5 worst teams in football right now.
Whoa! My Rams?
Yep. I think the Rams are one of the 5 worst teams in football right now. I hadn't watched many of their games. I watched them Monday. They're terrible. They don't run the ball. Their offensive line is terrible. All right, well, maybe they have a redeeming defense. Nope. I've said this multiple times this week. I'd rather have 3 Aaron Donalds on the field against the 11 players on the offense than 1 Aaron Donald and the Rams defense against 11 players on the offense. They're terrible. I think the Rams are a really bad team.
You hurt my feelings. But okay, so you're taking the Colts. It sounds like.
I'm taking the Colts.
Okay.
I'm taking the Rams. I just don't. I can't get myself to pick the Colts yet. I don't know. I just like McVay and Stafford to make a bounce back here.
All right, and then if the Rams weren't playing the Colts, I'd probably take the Rams. But I'm taking the Colts. I'm following the train, and the train's going up. You know what I'm saying? And that I'm telling you what, it is. Before that, we're going up that ladder. I'm telling you guys. Woo! The Colts run AFC South. I'm telling you. I don't even care who starts because both our quarterbacks are good. Most likely Anthony Richardson, he'll start. He practiced today. But Anthony Richardson, he'll get hurt second quarter. Gardner comes in, does his thing. Colts win the game. All right, and then moving on, we got Tampa Bay at New Orleans. Who you got, Jake?
Give me the... I was going to say the Saints, but then I remembered they don't have their starting quarterback. Give me the Buccaneers. Ooh, at the Superdome, though? Give me the Buccaneers.
Okay.
Buccaneers.
Who you got, Jake?
I'm taking the Saints. Getting Alvin Kamara back. I think Derek Carr obviously is better than Jameis Winston, but Jameis Winston's not a bad backup to have. He's going to produce. I don't know if he compliments Alvin Kamara a lot because he doesn't really check down. He likes to throw the ball down the field, but I do think that is good for guys like Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed, who are great deep threats. I think Jameis will continue to get the ball to them, and I think their defense shouldn't have a problem shutting down Tampa Bay.
Yeah, no, I'm going with the Saints. Saints are one of my other teams I like really well. Yes, no Derek Carr. Alvin Kamara is back, but it's kind of like the Nick Chubb situation with me with Derek Carr. They're going to actually be able to prep with Jameis Winston. He's not just thrown in the fire, and not because they're two different type of quarterbacks. Derek Carr is a really good game manager, and Jameis Winston's more air raid. Let's go. So I think they're going to change their game plan a little bit, be a little bit more prepared. I think the Saints get this win at the Dome. Moving on, we have Washington at Philly. I would hope I already know your all picks.
Give me the Eagles.
Okay.
Give me the Eagles.
And I'm going Eagles as well. We don't even have to talk about that, I don't think. Moving on, we have Minnesota at Carolina.
Vikings.
I'm going Vikings as well. I think they get their first win.
All right, and I'm going Vikings as well. What is the status on Bryce Young? Anybody know?
They said he's trending towards looking to play.
Okay, good for him. So,
Which
I
could
think
be a bad thing, honestly.
it could be a bad thing, but I like to see young quarterbacks at least get their opportunity. I like Bryce Young, and I hope they can turn things around. Not a big Frank Reich fan, but that's what.
The corners that are going to be guarding Justin Jefferson aren't going to be very good, I don't think.
Okay, and then I'm going Minnesota as well. I think the Vikings are due for a win. It's a must. It's actually turning into a must-win. I mean, they're 0-3, and this team was 10-0 last year to start the year, I believe, or something crazy. So it's a must-win, and Carolina. This is a huge game for Vikings. Not playing a good team, and this is a time you can get your win. Look for a pretty big win for the Vikings. I think double digits. Pittsburgh at Houston. Jake.
I'll take the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm taking the Steelers as well. I've liked what I've seen from the Texans, but I still don't think they're all that great of a football team, and they're kind of a matchup nightmare. The Steelers are for the Texans because C.J. Stroud usually doesn't do very good under pressure, and that's what the Steelers are really, really good at. So I look as that to be a problem for them.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you. I'm taking the Steelers with both of you. This game is going to be I think this game can be very stressful for C.J. Stroud. It's going to be a lot like the Colts game, I think. He's going to get hit a lot, and T.J. Watt's going to have a pretty good game. That's all I'm going to say. Moving on, we got the Vegas Raiders versus the Chargers. This actually good. I think this could be a sleeper game.
Yeah,
I'll take the Raiders.
Raiders, okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn between these two teams. I think it'll be another shootout with it probably will be every week with how pitiful that Chargers defense is. But I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think they're a slightly better team.
And possibly Austin Eckler's back this week, right?
Yeah, that's huge.
So I'm a big Raiders. I'm a big Jimmy G guy, but their defense is whew. I mean, they're allowing a lot of points to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are not a very good offense team without, especially even Deontay Johnson. I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think it is a shootout, but I feel like the Chargers defense, even though they haven't been playing well, I think the Chargers defense is better than the Raiders, and I think that's what gets it done. Moving on, we have New England at Dallas. Sleeper game here. Who you got, Jake?
I'll take Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't drop two of these games in a row. This is a must-win for the Cowboys. No excuses. Have to win this game.
I'm going Dallas as well, but I think this could be a game where you could see. I could see the Dallas Cowboys losing, though. I really could. Obviously, after losing to the Cardinals, anything can happen, but I think this game will be close. I really do. Arizona at San Francisco. Who you got, Jake?
49ers.
Okay.
49ers.
49ers. So we're all going that way. And then, let's see here. Kansas City at the Jets.
Taylor Swift in attendance, give me Kansas City.
Okay.
Give me Kansas City.
Okay. And then Seattle. This is Monday Night Football. Seattle and New York Giants.
How have we already seen two Steelers and two Giants night games? Not loving that.
They love them.
I don't.
Well, Giants are new. Pittsburgh Steelers like a national brand, so that's probably plays a lot into it.
Okay. So Jake, who you got?
Give me the Seahawks. I think they figured it out. They struggled week 1, but I do think they figured it out. They're once again they're a good team.
Yep.
I'm going with the Giants. I know they've struggled recently, but I think at home the Seahawks aren't too scary of a defense. I think they can control this game, and I think they can get it done.
And I don't think they've ruled out Barkley, right, either.
Yeah, he could be back.
So
which would be huge.
That's also taking a guess going forward. That's the downfall of doing this on Wednesdays. But I'm going Seahawks. I kind of with Jake. I think they kind of figured it out. Kenneth Walker's been running like a maniac. Not a big Geno Smith fan, but I mean, it is what it is. He's been playing pretty good football. So that is that. We all picked, so I'm going to go over what we all picked, basically all of our not locks, but what we all picked, who we think's going to win. We all took the Bills, we all took Denver, we all took Philly, we all took Vikings, we all took Steelers, we all took Dallas, we all took Niners, and we all took Kansas City. Jake, who is your lock? Lock.
There's no way to me that the Vikings don't beat the Panthers this week.
Okay.
Back-to-back lock picks with the Vikings?
Yeah, going with the Vikings. I respect that one, though.
Yeah, I respect it. I think I'm going to take the 49ers over the Cardinals. I think that was a fluke that they beat the Cardinals. They're going to have to play at San Francisco or Santa Clara. I think that's going to be a little bit tougher to get done. give me the 49ers as my lock.
And then I'll go prime time, and I'm going to take Kansas City. I'm going with Kansas City again over the Jets. I think the Jets are not a very good football team, and Kansas City, the Jets could be win this game by 3 possessions at halftime, and Kansas City still wins this game. So I'm taking Kansas City. And then, Jake, who's your 3 players? Quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end.
Quarterback is Patrick Mahomes against the Jets.
Okay.
Running back is Kenneth Walker against the Giants.
Okay.
And my wide receiver, Jamar Chase against the Titans.
Okay. Different picks. Who you got?
I'm going to stay with my theme. I told you I won as many pieces of that Dolphins-Bills game. My quarterback of the week is Josh Allen at Miami. My running back of the week is going to be Josh Jacobs against that Chargers defense that made Alexander Madison look good against them last week. So I think Jacobs going to have a big game. And then my wide receiver, another player from the Dolphins-Bills game, Jalen Waddle.
Okay. And
if
then,
he plays.
I'm going to take... you kind of took my guy. I was going to take Josh Allen in that game. I think Josh Allen's going to blow up. And then running back... Let's see here. Running back... I'm gonna go with a different type of guy here. I'm gonna go Zach Moss. I think the Rams are not a very good run stopping team. They're not a very good defense. Obviously they have Aaron Donald.
I can only tell you about 2 players on their defense.
That and also the offensive line of the Colts have been playing really well. So give me Zach Moss, and it's his last week without Jonathan Taylor possibly. So I expect a big week from him. And then since I said Josh Allen, if Josh Allen's having a good week, you know who else is having a good week. So give me Stephon Diggs to match them up. And that game will be a fun game. So, Jake, you had Patty, Kenneth Walker, Jamar Chase. Jaden, you had Josh Allen, Josh Jacobs, and Jalen Waddle. A lot of J's there. And I'm taking Josh Allen, Zach Moss, and Stephon Diggs. So that kind of wraps up our Week 4 recap and our Week 3 coverage. It was a good show. But... let's get into some final words and kind of sign off here, and then let's have a good week of football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my final words are Boston Celtics, go get Drew Holiday for me, please.
My final words are Indiana Pacers, go get Drew Holiday for me, please.
Okay, and then, hey, I got a few words. Basketball's less than a month away. Let's go. MLB's starting up, playoffs soon. Actually, hang on, Jake, are the Reds going to make it?
No.
So, I know we're not officially eliminated. We're like a game and a half back. Big game tonight. We basically got to win out, and we need some help from losing. Which, I don't know if you saw, I believe it was the Cubs or the Diamondbacks lost last night. Cubs.
Yeah.
And,
Cubs.
Yeah, we lost, and we're only a game and a half back. Hey, let's go.
Yeah, just believe it or not, our pitching's just so bad, like we've said all year.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah, and I think the trade deadline kind of hurt us where we didn't trade like we talked about.
Right.
But yeah, so let's go Reds. Let's go Pacers. Hey, let's have a good football week too. Hey, and also,
let's do it.
Michael Penix is the best college football player right now. Mark it down.
Michael Penix.
Yeah.
Michael Penix. He's pretty good.
I told Jaden at the beginning. Ask Jaden at the beginning of this college football season.
Carson thinks he's a top 5 pick in the NFL draft.
I think Michael Penix is the best. I think Michael Penix is the best college football quarterback.
I would have to disagree with that statement.
Yeah, 100%.
He is the best college football. I said at the beginning of the year too.
What happened? Did you actually watch one of his games?
Huh?
Did you actually watch one of his games?
No, I just predicted it. It was my random prediction.
He'll be 24 by the time he's drafted.
Hey,
unfortunately. Yeah,
Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe.
And he's left-handed. That's another problem.
It's even better. Look at Tua.
Joe Burrow also played in the SEC. That helped him. And won a national championship.
All right, that was a long final word, but yeah, that's my prediction. Mike Penix.
I just have one more final word. Sorry.
All right, let's hear it.
Carson, I'm gonna be honest, dude. You're playing for clicks. You are. I'm playing for win.
Hey.
See you guys.
Hey, I'm out of here. All right, CFTC out.